Hey guys, well, you're also welcome to My Way Tarot. This will be a general reading for all Pisces placements. Everything you need to know about myself, the reading, or the channel can be found in the description box below. So we're just going to use the Modern Witch Tarot deck for this reading today. Angels of Love and Light, can we please have clear and concise messages for Pisces? What do they need to know? What do they need to hear in regards to the current energies for whenever they come across these timeless tarot messages? What do they need to know? What do they need to hear at this time, please? And thank you. Please bear in mind that this is a general reading, so with the messages, only take what you feel resonates and leave the rest. And please use your own sense of discernment with the messages and not force them to fit with a particular situation. So let's get into your reading, guys, and find out what's going on for you. Bottom of the deck, we have the Four of Swords. Okay. With the Hermit, Virgo energy, and the Tower, Aries, Scorpio, Seven of Pentacles. Guys, some of you have just felt like not doing very much as of late. Maybe you felt pretty exhausted. I feel like a lot of you haven't really necessarily wanted to kind of get out there and socialize too much. Maybe you've had a lot going on in your life and you're feeling a bit, I'm hearing sick and tired of it, okay? I'm hearing same-ish, different day. So you may have a lot on your mind right now or a lot on your plate, and potentially it's just the sense like maybe you're wanting some quiet time just to yourself, just wanting to be with yourself, right? Um, I'm hearing a problem shared is a problem halved. So it's the sense like you do have people around you that if you wanted to open up and talk to certain people about certain things that were going on in regards to you, then I feel like they would be more than open to discuss things and hear you out and talk to you and listen to what you've got going on in your life, to assist you in some sort of way if you're seeking that sense of advice, or someone's opinion on a situation, right? Or potentially you just feel like you're wanting to keep it to yourself, or you're debating about whether to open up to somebody or not. But I feel like at this moment in time, you may just feel like you're in this kind of bubble of just wanting things to be to yourself for the most part. So communication may be an issue for some reason, but I'm hearing you do have others around that would be there for you if you were to be opening up and discussing of certain things. Okay, so I'm hearing the ball is in your court in regards to that. But let's get into this. What else is going on for Pisces, please and thank you? There is something in particular that is stressing you out more than some of the other areas or some of the other things that are going on in your life. There is one particular issue that is really getting to you. Okay, yeah, Three of Pentacles. I mean, this is like teamwork energy. So this is a sense of community. Like I said to you before, like you may be thinking, actually, it would be worthwhile to get myself out of the house or make some new friends or socialize a bit more or get back in touch with certain people, or kind of making the effort to do more for yourself in regards to what brings you that sense of joy, right? Especially if things have been heavy, then you're like, well, actually, what can I do creatively that is going to allow me to kind of alleviate some of the stress or take my mind off of things? So you do have people there that are willing to kind of help you out and be there as a solid support system for you as well. But maybe you felt for some reason that you couldn't talk about a specific thing, and that's what's been getting you down. And so therefore I'm getting like the root cause of it. You could be getting down to the root cause of it. I just heard brass tacks for some reason. Yeah, with the Two of Cups, it could be in regards to love, right? It could be in regards to a relationship here, if you're currently in a relationship. But then there's some sort of upset to do with this or distress to do with this. But you do have some very solid friendships or work colleagues or people around you that would be more than happy to lend an ear, right? Or be a shoulder to cry on. That's what I heard. Okay. So what's going on here, please, for Pisces? What else? Okay, this really wanted to come through. We have the Six of Wands. We have the Lovers, Gemini energy. We're currently in Gemini season, so that's quite synchronistic. We have the Two of Wands. What's to go underneath the Three of Pentacles, please? Six of Swords. Well, we had the Fool, and that landed right on top of the Lovers. So I feel like that wanted to clarify that actually with the Knight of Wands. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Ace of Swords and the Ten of Swords. Everything is fine. Bottom of the deck, we have the Ace of Wands, Temperance, and Knight of Wands. Right, Sagittarius coming through. I feel one more for this Lovers, actually. Wow, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, there's you, and you flew out right next door to the Six of Swords. So what's this Lovers about? Five of Pentacles, and then Eight of Wands, Knight of Cups, Ten of Wands, and the King of Pentacles, Queen of Wands. Okay. Guys, I don't know why I'm getting an energy here. Like, I'm getting this sense of some of you, or even if it's just one of you, made a life-changing decision to move, to go somewhere, to be with someone. Maybe because of a commitment, because there was a deepening of a commitment. And so therefore somebody thought that this was going to be everything that they could have hoped for, dreamed of, and there were two people here on the same wavelength, right? But somebody could be contemplating as of right now whether to move on and leave this situation in the past and maybe go back to where they were before. Somebody's debating about whether to follow through with a separation, but somebody may feel like they don't have the resources or the finances in order to do of this. But there has been a concern because, oh gosh, I just heard we warned you about this. So I'm picking up on potentially friends or family may have warned somebody about making such a drastic move to be with someone. It's like somebody picking up their life and moving to a certain location because of a deepening of a commitment. And so therefore it's like I'm getting like an engagement or something like that. And to then move and then be with this person to try to build a life with them. And maybe they were, you know, trying to find a new job, trying to get certain things situated with in regards to moving in with this person. And then things didn't necessarily work out as to how somebody was hoping that it would have been. And there's been a lot of distress about this because somebody feels like they've made a bit of a fool of themselves for going after something that they thought was meant to be for them. And then in hindsight, looking back, they're realizing there were certain things that were cropping up and potential red flags were flying, and somebody wasn't paying much notice to those, or they were just blindsided by them. They didn't know that they existed, or they just couldn't see. So they follow through with whatever this was. And now that there's been time that has gone by, it's not been much of a success as the way that somebody thought that it was going to be. So somebody that could be a reason why someone is like debating about whether to open up to talk to somebody close to them, and they feel that they can't because they feel a little bit embarrassed by a scenario, or feel humiliated in some sort of way, because it's a sense they've already been pre-warned about this, but then they went ahead with it anyway. But I'm getting that energy of the sense of like not to be too hard on oneself, because we learn, we grow and evolve through going through certain situations here, right? And if we don't go through certain situations, then we don't have the sense of like real progression in our lives, or sense of self-awareness, or emotional maturity, or emotional intelligence, or learning things about relationships that we didn't really necessarily know before. I'm getting like this energy as somebody feels like they've been naive and trusted in a situation or in someone too quickly, or went into something too quickly, and there was all this sense of hope and optimism about whatever this was, and now somebody is sitting thinking to themselves, what have I done? Now I feel kind of worse off than what I would have done if I didn't just make that move in the first place, or do whatever I felt like I was going to do before, right? I'm getting that for some reason. Okay, yeah, Ten of Pentacles, Four of Swords. Yeah, somebody is concerned. That Four of Swords energy coming through again. It's like somebody is now having to have the courage to speak up, or realizing of their worth in a situation. I feel like somebody definitely upped and moved their life to be with a person here, and they thought that they were able to live out this dream together, but then it's not really been a dream at all. Gosh, this sounds oddly specific here, guys. But again, Ten of Pentacles, this is a sense of like laying down roots with someone, and then having second thoughts. Yeah, Wheel of Fortune. There was a karmic cycle here with the Ten of Swords, 10-10, and the Five of Cups. Seven of Cups. Somebody is confused, feeling very unsure of themselves, okay? Because they fully invested into something. They went full into it in a way where this feels like this is destined, we were meant to meet type of thing. And then they're kind of confused because it's a sense they thought that that was going to be their happily ever after. And then the Tower moment came, and then there's a realization that it wasn't. So I'm hearing numb. So somebody may be feeling quite tempted to try and numb themselves, like in regards numbing of their emotions, or avoiding of their emotions, or using certain coping mechanisms which aren't really the healthiest here to deal with this situation. Yeah, because they're carrying a lot with the Ten of Wands. And then we have the Hanged One, which is you guys, Pisces. This is your major arcana. I'm definitely picking up on somebody's energy here. So I feel somebody is about to make a big decision that's going to change their life again. To end of a relationship or a situation. because they don't feel like they're appreciated. They may be feeling like they've been taken advantage of. They may feel like their kindness has been taken for weakness. They may feel like, you know, they thought that they were going after a situation that was genuine love, and then maybe realizing it's not. But somebody thought that they were going to have their kind of ultimate wish fulfillment with a particular connection. But I'm hearing there have been arguments or disagreements. A lot of defensive energy here. Yeah. Somebody is kind of like emotionally checking out of a situation, and they're not sure what to do because potentially they feel like they put everything into whatever this was and they haven't got very much left over, and so now they're trying to figure out an escape route to get out of this. So it's like they can't immediately just get up and change their life again. But I feel like you may be receiving a helping hand here with the King of Pentacles and the Page of Cups. I mean, there's you coming through, guys. So I feel like there could be someone that's going to be quite generous. If you were to open up to a particular person, whether that is friends or family, I'm picking up on like family. And if they really knew the depths of what somebody was actually feeling and going through, that they would assist this person in order to get out of whatever this was, to move on forward here. I just heard laughing stock. Somebody feels like they're going to be like a laughing stock because there was like a failure to launch or something, like something failed, or somebody feels like they'd be a failure or seen as a situation as a failure. Just saw the Magician and the Hierophant. Maybe somebody thought that this was someone that they were engaged to or that they were going to marry, or this was the trajectory that this person was going to go on because of certain things and how it like carried on through. And now someone's realizing, actually, maybe this is not what I want. Okay. So I feel like somebody's debating about whether to follow through with the breakup, but it could be quite serious because there's been some sort of implications, maybe financially or practically, materially, in regards to this. The Strength card and the Wheel of Fortune. Somebody's having to have the courage in order to stand up for themselves. And follow and trust in their intuition here with the High Priestess. Somebody is so weary about feeling like they've made the wrong decision if they were to leave of something that isn't obviously serving them. And somebody feels like they're not being treated properly or treated very well. But I'm hearing it's important to trust yourself and your judgment. Yeah, with the Emperor and the High Priestess. So I feel like there's going to be a breakthrough whereby someone's going to gain this sense of clarity. It's like the last straw, the straw that broke the camel's back type of thing, type of event, like some sort of information coming to light or truth coming to light, or someone's true motives coming to light. Whether somebody outright says or something, and then that's the last straw, or whether someone has just become a lot more observant about the situation from I'm getting like something to do with a viewpoint on whatever is going on here. It's like having a conversation with someone and then there's this sense of indirectness to do with how it may relate to something that somebody's been thinking or feeling, and then they're then debating with themselves about whether something is healthy or right or not. I don't know why I'm getting that. Anyway, yeah, again, Queen of Swords and Justice. Whether it's fair, whether it's healthy, whether it's right or not. Somebody's debating about whether to be single again. It's like being at a crossroads. It's like, do I continue on this path and marry this person, even though there hasn't been things that are right with this for a while? There have been red flags. Or do I get out of this situation and become single, and then potentially later on the line have this illumination of what's going on, be very hurt by it, and then follow through with a divorce? So it's like trying to save of oneself of, well, do I get married and then just hope things will be improving? When somebody knows deep down that that probably isn't going to change, like the situation isn't really going to improve. Somebody may not be willing to work on themselves or feel like they've done of anything wrong. I'm getting that kind of vibe. But I mean, marriage is a very serious thing. So, yeah, I feel like somebody is definitely in a bit of a dilemma about love. Ace of Cups. Somebody feels like they may have been like sold a dream, sold some sort of pipe dream, sold some sort of fantasy here. I feel like there's a lot going on behind closed doors with someone. I'm getting everybody knows and senses that something isn't right. But maybe somebody's too close to the problem or to to whatever the situation is you know when you feel you're like blinded. I'm hearing love is blind. Somebody may realize that a situation isn't really love, which they thought was love, because maybe they hadn't had of anything else to really compare it to. And they could be learning that. Anyway, guys, I'm going to move on from that, but it sounds so specific. But I'm going to move on with that. So what else is going on for Pisces, please? I nearly said Scorpio then. So maybe dealing with a Scorpio, or like I'm getting the image of the Death card. So there could be a sudden upheaval or transformation, right? An ending to one thing in order to begin of something completely different. Not necessarily to kind of leave of a situation like and become single and then get straight into another relationship. I'm not picking up on that. I feel like, you know, there need to be some sort of healing in regards to that first and foremost. But yeah, Six of Swords and the Wheel of Fortune. Somebody is just wanting to have the opportunity to leave the turbulent waters behind them, okay? Because somebody feels like it should have been smooth sailing, it should have been effortless, it should have been easy, it should have been this, but it wasn't. And somebody could be realizing it wasn't going to be. It wasn't ever going to be. Somebody may have mistaken or, you know, love with lust, okay? But I'm getting the energy of like trouble in paradise. Look, with the Five of Swords, the Hanged One, the Knight of Wands, and the World. with the Two of Cups again. Goodness me, this energy is just not going away. I'm hearing the situation is not just going to go away, no matter how deep somebody tries to bury their head in the sand. Something needs to be talked about or addressed here, and not like just pretend that nothing is going on here, because it's affecting somebody deeply. It's affecting their well-being, their mental health, as well. I'm picking up on an energy here that, I mean, there could be the possibility to do with a third party situation, right? Even if there wasn't necessarily like physical cheating going on or infidelity or an affair, there may have been some sort of questioning to do with a partner and their so called friendships. I'm getting so called like in brackets, like in, in whatever, right? I'm getting something to do with messages online or something on to do with social media. Somebody hasn't wanted to kind of jump to accuse of something, but then in the same breath, there could be evidence that's being relayed here, and then somebody is not necessarily jumping to like conclusions, but they're wanting to speak to this person about whatever is going on here, and then somebody is kind of um not giving the full truth of the full scope of a situation. Like they're, oh gosh, this is not nice. I feel really quite uneasy about this. Somebody feels uneasy again with the Tower. I thought we were meant to be moving forward in this particular direction here, but somebody's just been more in their feels than anything. Again, High Priestess. It's like somebody is causing the other person to potentially ignore their intuition or doubt their intuition or doubt what it is that they're thinking and feeling about something, like as if they're imagining things when they're not. Something is really going on here. There is a secret. Mm, yeah. Okay, anyway, guys, this is a bit thingy. Anything else for Pisces? Anything else for Pisces? I mean, this could be all something that's related to you or someone that, you know, you're interested in, if they're in a third party situation, right? Or this could be to do with a friend or a family member or a work colleague, right? Somebody that could be coming through to let you in on whatever is going on in their life, and they've been feeling all of these things. Temperance, Sagittarius energy. What else is going on for Pisces, please and thank you? I really get that somebody is wanting to close out a cycle. Yeah, Empress. Page of Swords, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Four of Cups and the Queen of Wands. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Something has been a learning curve. A learning curve. Learning the hard way to do with a situation. Six of Cups and the Hierophant. And the Five of Cups again with the Star. Wow. Oh, goodness me. I'm hearing not to get so disheartened, but I know that it's a really upsetting situation. I know that sounds so thingy to say, but we go through these things that are sent to try us, right? And try us they do. And I feel that there was a lot to learn in regards to a situation. I mean, the thing is, we learn through partnerships, right? That's how we learn, that's how we grow, that's how we evolve, whether they're healthy relationships or toxic or abusive ones. And nobody obviously wants to go and deal with a toxic or unhealthy relationship or anything like that. But I mean, the thing is, with, we have light and we have dark, right? There's a sense of duality. And in order to then experience a genuinely healthy, solid relationship and connection, we 9 times out of 10 have to go through some pretty challenging love situations elsewhere that I'm hearing we never saw coming, or never thought that was going to turn out the way that it would do for us. Again, with the Five of Swords, and learn to stand up for ourselves, back ourselves, and then walk away and see our worth, right? And acknowledge our worth. Page of Cups, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Somebody thought that if they stayed a little bit longer, that things would change, that it would naturally balance itself out. That if they continued to showcase a sense of loyalty or did more to give to a scenario or show more love, that there would then be eventually the happily ever after. But somebody has been really trying to push or something to go in a certain direction, when actually what's meant to be done is to kind of draw a line in the sand and call something quits and to walk away from it, even though someone really doesn't want to do this. But all in all, they do know that this is the right thing to do. I'm getting something to do with there being a certain picture that was painted in someone's mind of how something was going to be, or whether that was their own expectation or assumption of what they thought was going to be, and then it wasn't. And this was quite eye-opening. Yeah, again, Queen of Swords. Somebody didn't want to turn their back on the possibility of thinking and feeling that there was potential in this and that this could really go somewhere and this would be better. But actually, they're now realizing that they're only getting more and more hurt from the process by sticking around to watch and see what's going to happen. With the Devil, the Five of Cups, and the Nine of Wands. I mean, Capricorn energy, but the Devil only shows us what it wants us to see and showcases us of certain illusions, right? But I'm hearing in a moment you can be free. You can walk away from the devil energy. You can walk away from that. A karmic relationship. It's just as easy to kind of get out, walk out that door. I mean, technically speaking, and the reason I say it technically speaking, because there's a sense of like in the devil card, you got those two people that have those loose chains around their neck and they're connected to the door and they can see the door, right? But also they feel that they're enslaved or in a situation that they're stuck when actually they're not. Like they can see the way out, they know what they need to do, and the chains are not so tight, so they could actually just lift them up and put them to the side and walk through the door. But obviously there are emotions involved, there's all these other things are involved. So it's easier said than done to just kind of go, do you know what? I'm not going to stand for the sense of ill treatment, or this is not balanced, or I feel like this is getting like unrequited. And it's difficult to make a decision when really we know we ought to make the decision, but sometimes it's easier to not make a decision. So we just end up holding back and staying put instead with the Four of Pentacles, when really change is necessary. Gosh, it's so fascinating, because obviously the cards here, if you were to look at this and you weren't and if I'm looking at this and I wasn't picking up on the energy I was, then it would be a completely different spread. It would be a completely different reading, right? But the energy is here for a reason. It's coming through for a reason. And you know, when it comes to tarot and surrounding cards and energies, etc., there's lots of interpretations, and it all does depend on the energies that you're feeling, and you know what is being represented, because they're just kind of like guidance, right? I mean, there may have even been a potential ultimatum that somebody put out here and was like, look, if things are not getting balanced between us and you're putting work to do with this to showcase, you know, show up for the connection as much as I am, or willing to go and do what you're needing to do to help to bring of this about to improve of the situation, or cutting ties with the third party, or no longer being friends with certain person because of this, that, and the third, or whatever. Like somebody is definitely like, oh gosh. I mean, I'm not even sure whether I'm going to post this, but I am going to post it because this is obviously someone's energy, and I wouldn't be getting so, you know, into it if it wasn't somebody's message. But somebody's just fed up of feeling rejected or unappreciated or undervalued, or like a situation has got to a breaking point, or they feel like it shouldn't have been this hard. If there was the sense of us, we were meant to, you know, went to work out, and it was meant, it wouldn't be as hard as what it is. But it is. Five of Pentacles. Anyway, any other final messages for this? I feel like if somebody was to really follow through with this and to leave of a situation here, right, and choose themselves, I'm hearing, and not to necessarily worry about the perception or whatever from other people, if they feel like in their heart of hearts that they'd be making the right decision. And at first, when you leave of a scenario, especially if it's a karmic or a toxic or whatever relationship, you know, we move on and then we do think back to it and was like, oh, was it really that bad? Yes, it was. Yes, it was that bad. It was actually maybe even worse, because it's not until later on then we start learning about certain things about ourselves and educating ourselves about relationships, etc. And as we're healing, then we go, gosh, it was actually 10 times worse than what I was, and than what it was, and I was in the thick of it, and I didn't even know it was happening right under my nose. And there's always that doubt right at the beginning when you break up with someone, because a sense of you questioning everything. Have I made the right decision? What will my family say? You know, what will my friends say? Especially if you've gone and done like something major here, where you got engaged to somebody, or you moved across the country to be with them, or you started a family, or you know, you moved in together, or whatever, right? Especially if there's something like substantial to do with finances or legalities or material items or whatever it is, assets, like, then yeah, it gets complicated. Yeah, look, bricks and mortar with the Ten of Pentacles, and then the Lovers, Gemini energy. So somebody did transform their life to be with someone, but it didn't work out, or they're realizing that it's not working out and they don't know what to do. But I feel ultimately they know what to do, but it's just whether they feel like they have the courage to follow through and choose themselves, with the Chariot, with the Hermit, and the Queen of Cups. There's you. Yeah, and look, choosing themselves over a situation that obviously isn't right. But whoever this is for, you know, you will come out stronger the other side. And once we've detached from a situation like this, and we've done, you know, the healing, and we've taken the time that we've needed and all of that, then yeah, when we feel up to it again and we want to open ourselves up to love, like a genuine, healthy, loving relationship with somebody that you feel an emotional, spiritual connection with, a high level soulmate or past life connection, twin flame, however it resonates, then there can be the sense of being genuinely happy, right? But it's difficult because we don't see that immediately, but it takes time. Anyway, I feel like I'm going to close this reading off. Oh my gosh, as I think say that the Hang One is your last card. If you're needing to take some time on a big decision like this, then take the time. Don't feel like you're needing to rush, okay? If you're just wanting to have some more space to yourself, then do so. But there's definitely a new perspective coming through for someone. Again, we have Cancer Pisces energy with the Strength card. So I feel like over the next few months, somebody has a big decision to make. Anyway, guys, I know that this was a very on and off kind of reading. I definitely tapped in with someone's energy here, okay? And I know it's a general reading, but it did focus a lot on love or a relationship or whatever it was, right? But I am going to post this. This is for someone. We have Sagittarius, we have Taurus, we have Libra, Aquarius, Gemini, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Okay. But 144, 1144, 222, 666, 444, 555, 333, or 33 may be very significant here for someone. And 1212. But that's going to be the end of the reading. So I hope that there have been some messages, a few messages in the reading. Let us know if any of it resonated for someone out there, because I know it's definitely for somebody. But if you guys wanted to support myself and the channel, there are donation links available. There is a PayPal link in the description box below, and the other option is Super Thanks, which is listed underneath this video. So thank you so much to those of you who have already donated. I greatly appreciate you guys. Even if you don't financially donate, a wonderful way to energetically donate is to like, share, subscribe, comment down below, and I'll get back to you guys on those comments when I can. So thank you so much. Please hit the notification bell so you get an alert as to when I post another video for you and you don't miss out on future updates or content made available on the channel. And please feel free to check out your Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Mercury and North Node placements in the other zodiac sign readings that I provide to gain further insight for your timeless tarot messages. For sending love and light your way, many blessings, please take care, and I'll see you and speak to you soon. Thank you. Bye guys.